Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Know About Embedded System. So in today's video, we will understand how to run a multiple task periodic. Let us assume I have a tasks here, task number 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So these tasks should run one after the other. So first task 1 should run, then task 2, then task 3, then task 4 like that. So it should run. So before starting the video, so if you are a new viewer to my channel, kindly subscribe my YouTube channel and gain the knowledge on embedded system. Let us start the video here. So how to run multiple tasks periodically. So guys, this is also one of the application of the timer here. We are going to make use of a timer. Based on the timer, we are going to execute different tasks. Okay, as I told you already, we have 4 different tasks, namely like task 1, task 2, task 3 and task 4, and each task execution time I'm keeping as a 5-second here. So task 1 will be having execution time of 5 seconds, task 2 execution time 5 seconds, and task 3 execution time 5 seconds, and similar to that task 4 as well. The first task 1 should execute. After completion of task 1, I have to jump to task 2, then similar to that task 3 and task 4 like this. This cycle should be repeated. After task 4, task 1 also, it has to start the new cycle. This process has to be in a loop and continuously it has to work. Okay, so this is my intention here. So I want to develop an embedded C code to run different multiple tasks periodically. Okay, now let us start the video. Let us start the coding here. How to develop a code for this. So first thing, guys, I'm going to use a timer here. I'm going to use a timer. So this MR is also called as timeout. So here in our LPC1768 microcontroller, we have 4 MR registers. That means you can generate 4 different delay. In one timer, you can generate 4 different delays. Based on the different microcontrollers, based on different compare registers or a timeout register, you're able to generate a different delay. But in this microcontroller, we have 4 MRs, and based on 4 MRs, we can generate 4 different delays. So now what I'm going to use here, timeout. So MR1, or I can say timeout register 1. So here I'm keeping as 5 seconds. And similar to that, I have MR1. Similar to that, I have MR1, and MR1 I'll also keep it for 10 seconds. Okay, then MR2, then I have MR2. This I'll keep it for 15 seconds, and that MR4 or MR3 I'll keep it for 20 seconds. That means, so execution time for each will be a 5 second. For task 1, this is for task 1. So this is for task 1. That means task 1 will run to 0 to 5 second. Task 1 will run from 0 second to 5 second, and then task 2, so which will be mapped to the MR1. So this is going to run from 5 second to 10 second, and similar to that, MR2, nothing but task number 3, will be running from 10 second to 15 second, and similar to that, 15 second to 20 seconds. So that means execution time for each task will be 5 seconds, but timer match values will be different. So there is a slight difference you need to understand here. This is called timeout value for each MR. This is called the left side, what you are seeing, this is called MR values, and the right, this is for MR, this is MR1, this is MR0, MR1, then we have MR2, then MR3. I have different delay registers, or you can say timeout register. So for 5 seconds, I need to load 50 lakhs. So this is for 5 seconds. So how I got, again, you have to watch my timer programming video, then you will understand how I got this. There is a calculation, you watch the video, you'll understand. Next one, so I'll go for 10 seconds. So this is for 10 seconds. Then for 15 seconds, it is 15 followed by 6 zeros. So this is for 15 seconds. Similar to that, we have 20 seconds. This is for 20 seconds. So now what I did, I have loaded a different timeout value. This is execution time for task 1. This is execution time for task 2 between 5 to 10 seconds, then 10 to 15 seconds, then 15 to 20 seconds. So this is my execution time for each tasks now. So I need to configure MCR register. So MCR stands for control register. It is also called as match control register. I need to configure like this. The different configurations I have to do. I'll just explain what it is. So I'm going to configure 0, bit number 0, bit number 3, then it should be 6 actually. This should be 9, and then this is okay. So what it means, so this configuration, whatever you're seeing, this is actually explained again in the timer concept, timer programming. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to configure, here I'll write it. This is important one. I'm going to generate interrupt here, MR0 in interrupt mode, then MR1 in an interrupt mode, then MR2 also in an interrupt mode, then MR3 in an interrupt and repeat mode or reset mode. So in an interrupt and reset mode. So this is what I am going to configure in MCR. Bit number 0 is for MR0, bit number 3 for MR1, bit number 6 for MR2, bit number 9 and 10 for your MR3. So now what it got configured in a MR0 interrupt, MR1 interrupt, MR2 interrupt, MR3 interrupt and repeat mode or reset mode. Okay, and line number 46 is used to reset the counters, and then line number 47 is used to enable the timer. So this is your timer configuration. So if you want to know detailed explanation, you can please watch my timer video. I will update the link in the description box. So this is my first part. Second part, I need to check the interrupt flag. So because we have configured each task in a interrupt mode, each MR in an interrupt mode, we have to check for interrupt. Here you can see I'm reading the interrupt flag here, and locally I'm storing in one of the variable. So this is my variable here, and I'm storing in one variable. Okay, now what I have to do, so I have to write a different cases here, switch case. So if it is 0 1, this is my task 1. Okay, then if it is case 2, 0x02, this is my task number 2. Then if it is 0x04, this is my task number, and then 08. So this is my task number 4. So I have totally, as you know that we have already 4 tasks are there. I want to execute. So whenever interrupt flag returns 001, so I'll just write it here. So this is my interrupt flag, and for this case it is 0010, and for this case it is 01100. So this is how we will check each interrupt state here. If it is 1, it is task number 1. If it is 2, it is task number 2, and then it goes on like that. So if that is the case, I have to print something. So UART, I'll be printing something, UART string. I will say that task 1. Okay, so this is the first step or a first task I'll be printing here, and then provide a small delay. You can provide a small delay here, 1000. Okay, and after this I need to check one condition here. So if my second flag, this flag is set, I need to clear my current flag. So what is the meaning of this is clear interrupt flag. Okay, so I need to clear the interrupt flag here. I need to check it first. If the next interrupt generated current interrupt flag, we have to clear it. Okay, if the next interrupt is set, I need to clear the current interrupt flag. There are two scenarios we have to understand. The next interrupt, nothing but the second interrupt and first interrupt. If the second interrupt occurred, this is what I'm doing here. I'm just going to check my second interrupt occurred or not. If second interrupt occurred, I need to clear the first interrupt. Okay, so that is what. Check next interrupt. Check next interrupt occurred or not. If it is occurred, I need to clear it. I need to clear the current interrupt. Okay, so this is going to clear my current interrupt so that I can jump to next flag. So this process should be repeated. Okay, so now after this I'll just break it. So this is the same procedure I have to do for all the cases. So this is my first case. Now this is for second case. In the second case, same thing. So I have to same procedure, but the difference here is I need to check for left number 2 and then I'll be clearing. Okay, so this is for task 2. The same thing will be repeated. Same thing will be repeated for task number 3. Now, so this is going to be task 3. Okay. Now I'll be checking bit number 3 and I'll be clearing bit number 2. And same procedure I have to apply for okay. So now this is done. The last case is this one. So here task number 4. Now the checking is for bit number 0, then clear bit number 3. This process will be repeated. That's it. So this is the coding for cyclic execution of our task. So here what I'm doing, task 1, check whether next interrupt occurred or not. If the next interrupt occurred, what I have to do, current interrupt I have to clear. Same thing, check next interrupt occurred. If next interrupt occurred, I have to clear the current interrupt. Okay, so check next interrupt, clear next current interrupt. This process will be the repeated manner. Okay, so this is the main code. This is your main code, and remaining all same. Rest of the things are same. This is my clock configuration. LCD, it is not required actually. This we will remove it. So then UART configuration, timer 0 configuration, and keep it in a while of 1. So this is my while and while of 1. In while of 1, I'll be running this complete statement so that this is my task 1. This will run for 5 seconds. This is my task number 2. This will run for 5 seconds. Similar to that, I have task 3, and this is my task 1. This is my task 2. This is my task 3. And the last one is task 4. Like this, I have a task 1, 2, 3, and after that again the process will be repeated, and your control will go to task 1, and again it will start running task 1. Okay, so this is a coding is not complicated, but we have to understand the timer logic here. Okay, now let us compile this and check the output. So 0 errors. Currently is the first, yeah, now you can see my task 1 is running. Task 1 will run for 5 seconds and task 2 will run for 5 seconds. Then task 3 will run for 5 seconds. Then task 4 will run for 5 seconds. And after that again, after task 4, the control will switch back to task 1. So task 1, task 2, task 3, then task 4. Yeah, this process will be in a while of 1, and in this way you can synchronize. This process is also called as synchronization. Whenever you are running with a one single processor or a single core processor, then this type of technologies are applied so that all different tasks will be running in a synchronized way with the help of timer. So timer plays a very important role here. So without timer, it is very difficult to achieve synchronization in the different tasks. So I hope this video is informative video. So if you feel this video is an informative video, please click on like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel.